stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the door. Stay clear of the door. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and this is February the 10th, 2025. Today is a very, very special episode, not only because I've got both my friends back with me today, so we're very happy with a full monorail, but also because we're bringing back a fan favorite segment, and that is M34D. Now, before we get into it, you might be asking, what is M34D? And I'm going to tell you, M34D is the Monday Morning Monorail Disney Deep Dive with the Dawes. And because we can't do this without the Dawes is here with us today, so I'm going to bring him in right now. Landon, before you take a drink, welcome to the monorail. How's it going, buddy? Welcome back.
Hi, everybody coming in from the isolation station of love. It's me. It's the DOZ, Landon the Dawsstone, and it's a Monday morning. You know what that means. Caught me a little bit off guard there. I'm generally used to coming in second, so I apologize. And it was nice to have a couple weeks off. I appreciate the thoughts and prayers for everything that I've gone through. A lot of you in the Monorail fam have reached out privately. Had a couple of you send me cards, and that means a lot. Jay, you yourself came from that weird state we call Florida up here. That means the world to me. I can never thank you enough. But yeah, I'm keeping my head above water, as Finding Nemo might say. Just keep swimming, But I'm also kind of tired because, as you may have seen last night, I was a special guest with Kendrick Lamar during the Super Bowl halftime show. That was not on the prop boards, unless you were betting at some really, really shady sports books. And if you're betting at those shady sports books, you might have a gambling problem. So so congratulations on your win. If you did bet on me appearing with Kendrick, we killed it, by the way. Drake is further into hiding, I think, but also seek help for your gambling problem. But I am glad to be back. Very glad to be back with you and my other bad boy, who we will now introduce. She is a rising star in the Twitch realm. You can see her. I believe she has now beaten Final Fantasy. What's the first one? Remake? She'll be able to correct me here in a second. So she is streaming a plethora of things. Adventures with Steffers everywhere on social media. But to me, it's Steffers. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, hi. It is me. I'm here. I played Final Fantasy VII Remake, yes, and I'm going to do the DLC this week, so...
Okay, all right. So you
I
get to
did
meet
beat
Yuffie, right?
I don't know anything. I literally, I just load the game and I kill things, so... Or I die. I mean, one of the two happens. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I posted it on YouTube, so you can enjoy my embarrassing moments and many deaths. It's fine. We're fine. It's fine. But hi, I missed you, Landon. Welcome back.
Thank you. I missed both of y'all. I listened to both episodes while I was gone. Yes, surprisingly, the monorail does continue. When I'm not here, it's not just a bunch of people standing around saying, hey, where's Poochie? Y'all did a great job in my absence. Thank you. Though I do hate that I was not here for the episode where we talked about chicken tenders. That feels like an episode that was, or a topic that was built for your boy, the Dawes.
There were a lot of things that we talked about that were built for the Dawes, but you know what is actually built for the Dawes? M34D, and you're here and you're back and we're ready to slay. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm here as moral support through this troubling time. You know, like.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yes, it's true. I mean, the Dawes, we can't do an M34D without the Dawes. You're in the title, of
Literally.
course. But we couldn't do this one without Steffers because, as was revealed last week, Steffers was a pretty big fan of one of the iterations of this attraction. So we're gonna get into it, and I can't wait to hear her geek out over it. And it's funny, actually, Landon, you mentioned Just Keep Swimming because maybe the voice of that character also has something to do with today's episode. Why don't we just go ahead and jump right into it? Because today we are doing a deep dive on the universe of energy. Now, this was a day one pavilion at Epcot. Epcot opened October 1st, 1982, and along with it, the universe of energy opened as one of the many edutainment pavilions that were offered at Epcot. Now, some people may not remember much about the original iteration of the attraction, and that's okay. You may remember it when it was in its Ellen's phase. It went through an Ellen's era, maybe I should say.
There we go. Yeah, yeah.
Taylor
You
Swift
have
style.
to use the common day vernacular. We're all in our blank eras.
That's right.
Thanks.
And I would say, honestly, the Ellen era was an upgrade. A lot of the ride was mostly the same. And if you didn't have a chance to experience it just from a high level, basically this pavilion gave you the whole story about the energy we use to run our world. Where does it come from? How do we use it today? And then what is the future of the sources of the energy that we may need to consume as we go forward? Because all that's happening is we're using more and more energy as we have more and more people build more and more technology. Our reliance on energy is only getting larger and larger. So it was really interesting. I think a lot of it, got into the fossil fuels of it all because, especially 1982 at the time, huge focus on oil and gas. Original sponsor of the attraction was Exxon, so another reason we might lean towards talking a lot about oil and gas and fossil fuels in the universe
No.
of energy.
A sponsor would never highlight what they make. That's ridiculous, Jay. Come on.
Yeah, very similar to Kodak sponsoring the Imagination Pavilion, and of course having like Making Memories all about taking pictures over there.
I never put that together. It's almost like Pizza Rizzo sounds like pizzeria.
Oh, come on. I know that was a shocking reveal for people last week.
Don't worry. I'll have one too. For this episode, I will have a shocking reveal as well to make it balance the scales a little bit, I think.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that because maybe that'll take some heat off of me. But I do want to say, and I'm going to get into, your personal histories with this attraction as well. But this attraction was groundbreaking for a lot of reasons, not just digging for oil. It was groundbreaking because the ride vehicles that you stepped into were unlike anything that you could experience on Disney property, probably in the world. Honestly, I don't know if there was anything similar to this in the entire world at the time. You basically, after you watch the pre-show video where they talk about energy and all its sources and all these different things, you step into what appears to be a theater. However, what you will sit upon, where your ride will start from, is sort of a modified version of almost what looks like church pews inside of a large Omni mover. And there were 6 of these vehicles. Each vehicle held 80 people, and you would slide into these things. They're monster. I mean, I think about like the ride vehicles for the Great Movie Ride, and those come to mind. These were like those on steroids, like even bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So very, very exciting because once these things got moving, you also realized they were basically trackless, battery operated, trackless. They did run sort of on a wire. It was a similar guidance system to what they used for the Tower of Terror, where there's wires that are embedded into the track. So I don't know if you want to call that a track or not. I think it's trackless. And it's kind of crazy to think how nowadays we've got all these examples: Runaway Railway, the Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, all these trackless rides that we feel like are groundbreaking. But hey, back in 1982, Universe of Energy was running on no tracks. So
I say bring it back.
Yeah.
What, the technology or the entire attraction?
Well, I mean both.
Okay, all right.
But realistically, just the ride vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
But like both.
I mean, just talking on the scale, like this has to be one of, if not the biggest ride vehicles that the Imagineers have ever made when it comes to an attraction at Disney, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like 80 riders per vehicle, and there's 6 of them on this attraction.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess if there were the nerds out there who wanted to be like, actually, how
Yeah.
many riders could ride the Walt Disney World Railroad? Probably more than 80. And then the other one would be the riverboat, like in the rivers of America.
Okay. Yeah. That's why I gave the caveat one of.
But
If yeah. Mhm.
but within a building, a contained like almost a dark ride type ride, you're absolutely there's no I don't think there's anything that comes close.
But the analogy that you gave, this is the great movie ride, like seats on steroids. Like that is a incredible analogy. And
Yeah.
because that's what it was. And the fact that they were doing this technology, not just in the early 80s.
Hmm.
1982 is when this attraction opened, when Epcot opened its doors.
I wasn't a
Yeah.
thought.
This predates me too, Steffers.
That's right. I was the only one of us
Yeah, I was
who
gonna say I wasn't gonna make you weigh in there. Yeah.
Aw.
I
Well,
was,
that's
but
okay.
I was less.
Papa Monorail.
I was less than a month old, but I was around when Epcot opened. We almost share the same birthday, so that's pretty
Almost.
special. Yeah,
Oh, that would have been cool.
yeah. But I can always keep track of like how old I am when I know there's an Epcot anniversary coming up. It's like, oh, the 45th is coming up. Wow, I'm that old. Okay. Um, all right, so now I do want to hear about it. So let's talk a little bit about personal memories and experiences. Let's go, Landon. I want to talk to you because you may remember the ride before Ellen took over, maybe not. But what's your personal history with the Universe of Energy?
I actually before Ellen took over, this was not even on little Landon's radar back when Papa and Mama Doan took little Landon and Tyler down to the House of the Mouse, because it's like part of the reason this was a long ride.
Yeah,
I mean, like if you decided, hey, we are going to get on this attraction, this was a big portion of your day.
yeah,
And I think that like honestly, I don't even know if Little Landon knew what this was, if I'm being completely honest. Now, ever since we've started doing this, and even before we started doing this, and I started to develop an appreciation for the history of Walt Disney World and everything that encompasses on the resorts and stuff like that, I have grown to appreciate it. But before Ellen came around, nah, this didn't even register for me.
yeah. Well, then once Ellen was part of the ride, you experienced it at that point, right?
Yes, yeah. I still didn't really know who Ellen was. I mean, I knew of her. I didn't know really who she was. I remember, I think, seeing her on TV when I would get home from school, because I think that was the time when she just no, she had a sitcom at that point, right? That was
Yeah.
before she had the okay, yeah. Yeah, so I knew of Ellen, but it's like, okay, all right, yeah. I was more into Bill Nye the Science Guy showing up. I mean, completely.
There you go.
Yeah. It's like we need
But
more Bill.
same. But same.
And I love the fact, we'll probably get into the beats of the show. I love the fact that even in the pre-show, it's framed as Ellen's nightmare / dream. Bill
Yeah.
Nye the Science Guy crashes that, and to me, it's like, okay, yeah, can we follow around the guy in the lab coat? That's who I want to hang out with.
Yeah. Oh, he was cool. He was cool. I would add to that, like, really, when I started experiencing Ellen's Energy Adventure, it was before I had become such a fan of like horror movies. And so I didn't have the same appreciation then that I do now for Jamie Lee Curtis. I think at this time I probably like when did True Lies come out? That may have been the thing that I knew her for better. I feel like that was like
late 90s?
I think it was like 94, 95, but we could probably fact check that. But um now I think about it like as I was
1994. You were right. Wow,
nice.
look at you. Good job by you, buddy.
Yeah, not so old in the old noodle up here.
We would rule at bar trivia. No.
Dude, I'm great at bar. I have so much useless knowledge. It's ridiculous. Um, but I think about it now and I'm like, nowadays, I would have been really excited to see her because she's a scream queen. Like, I
Like
love her
the
so
Scream
much.
Queen.
Yeah, the original final girl, really. And so I think I'd have a different appreciation for seeing her. But yeah,
Well,
that's funny.
and I'm glad you brought her up, and also Alex Trebek. Shout out to him, the late
Yeah.
great Alex Trebek.
Aww.
I think I was so young, she didn't even register for me. It's like watching that pre-show. It's like, okay, that's Ellen's old roommate.
You just buy into the whole world of it. You're like, okay,
I mean,
I
why
accept
would
that.
the person in the pre-show lie to us?
And somehow they got the real Albert Einstein for the Jeopardy sequence.
That was incredible. I mean, back in the day, the Imagineers really could pull off some magic.
Yeah, that's right.
It really goes to show Disney just doesn't even try anymore. Not getting famed dead people from the past. Come on. Jeez,
It's so funny as like we're sort of digging into it. I realize it's now sort of the junction point of so many of things I love. It's Disney, it's edutainment, it's Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's Jeopardy, which is one of my favorite shows.
Well,
So
and I love the fact that it's like when Ellen goes to lay down, it's like nice Jeopardy, and then when Bill Nye walks in, it's like, oh, what are you watching? Jeopardy, nice.
yeah. I would have been right on that couch with him. I don't miss
Oh,
it.
absolutely. Though, if we go on to learn anything about Ellen, I don't think Ellen would have been cool with you sitting on the couch with her.
Well, that's probably true.
And we did see signs of things to come when she wasn't so nice to the cast member who told people no eating, drinking, smoking, or photography during the attraction.
Yeah.
I mean, like the signs were there, people. We just didn't listen.
Oh yeah. And we're talking about breaking the fourth wall. Ellen was doing it. Steffers,
That's me.
as the voice of the youth, I want to hear your fond memories of
Okay.
the
Here's
attraction.
here's my hot take. Or not my hot take, but here's the thing that people are gonna be like, okay, but Justin didn't know pizzeria.
Mhm.
What when I was younger, let me preface this by saying when I was younger.
Oh, I love this. This is going to be great. She's already
Low
digging her
key,
grave.
low key thought Dinosaur and this ride were the same thing.
Oh.
When I was younger. Just
Oh.
Now that I'm older, I too am gonna echo Landon. Like I love the Bill Nye aspect of it all. I love the ride vehicle. Like it was something immersive. Like my dad had motion sickness, so it was like something he could still ride that like didn't, it was just like a nice little bonding moment. But I also just really I feel like I'm thinking like how things have progressed. I feel like rides today aren't even close. Like it's just not the same vibe, but I really liked the whole it's a dream thing. I liked Bill Nye in it. I liked the whole Jeopardy aspect. Like it was so I mean, maybe if I were to write it today with all the advancements in technology, I'd be like, Stephanie, why did you even like this?
Wait,
But
I have a
sorry,
question for
Steffers.
Steph.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry, so
thank you.
sorry.
Please proceed. Yeah. Talk
Um,
about breaking fourth wall.
So sorry. I don't know if I would have the same appreciation for it, but also at the same token, we don't have the edutainment anymore. So I feel like this would be a great like I don't know, we could have updated it and kept it. I'm just
Oh
saying
yeah,
we probably could have updated it and kept it, but
definitely. I mean, I think it took a big step forward. I mean, we're kind of doing this a little bit out of order, which is okay because
sorry.
there are no rules anymore. No. There are no rules anymore. We're in 2025. But like I definitely think
Yeah, have you been paying attention? Yeah.
in 1996 when they made the change from the original Universe of Energy to Ellen's Energy Adventure, it took that step forward of okay, just the straight and really it was like hardcore edutainment. I mean, it was interesting and I still thought it was fun, but the draw, let's be honest, was going through the diorama and seeing the dinosaurs.
Yep.
That's why people showed up. They wanted to see the dinosaurs. So Disney's like, well, how do we keep the edutainment element but make it a little more fun and interesting? Bring in like one of the hottest comedians at the time.
Yeah.
which is, Ellen. Bring her in. She's already fun and silly. People love her natural delivery, the way she connects with people. Bring in Bill Nye because he's somebody who teaches you in a fun way. And I don't know why they got Jamie Lee Curtis involved.
Why not though? Why not? No rules.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe Jamie Lee Curtis was a fan of Epcot, and Disney caught wind of that. I mean, like Jamie Lee Curtis goes to conventions and does cosplay stuff.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis is low key a nerd, and I love her for that.
Yeah, she's one
High
of us.
key.
Let's be honest.
High key. She's very
Yeah,
high
honestly,
key.
high key at this point. Yeah.
So
Jamie Lee Curtis, if you're listening to this, you feel free. You have a standing invitation to come on the podcast at any time.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Can our people talk to her people? We need people. Can we get
Yeah,
people?
I was gonna say we need people first. Yeah, one step at a time, baby.
Oh, that would be like an ultimate interview. How did we not get her for this episode, to be honest? I was just thinking like
That's your takeaway.
Yeah, we should have gotten her to be part of this. If they were going to keep it going, of course, it's difficult when you tie an attraction so closely to a because there was a Ellen animatronic in the diorama.
There was an animatronic that they claimed was Ellen, but I mean, there's a very infamous video from at one point Ellen had a talk show before Ellen got canceled and then uncanceled, and because that's the thing that can happen, where her staff gifted her the animatronic, and there's a reason they kept it pretty far away from people on the on the ride, because up close, oh boy,
well, they weren't worried about up close looks at the time. And remember, cameras weren't as good back then. You didn't have high def TV and so it's like, but I was just thinking if they were to do it now, of course they would have changed the host. They would have had to change the whole thing. And I wonder if they would have gone the direction of, what do they use? Like Groot is your host or something. Like, I don't know.
I see. I was about to ask who would be the comedian of the moment, but dude,
Rocket.
It would totally be Groot. Yeah, it would be Rocket and Groot. It would 1000% be. Yeah.
That would be so good. Why? We need to sell these ideas to Disney.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically they did take over the pavilion because
they did. They did.
I mean, got.
I have a feeling we'll get to that, but give me another attraction.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess you could technically say Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is now the current version of the Universe of Energy.
Yes, it's the third iteration of the Universe of Energy.
All we need is a Kodak sponsorship.
Well, and listen, the tie-in is that, what is that Allspark that the giant space creature steals? I don't know what they call it, but that's powering those jump points.
True.
It's still about power. It's still about energy. It's just like a different.
Honestly, though.
Yeah.
Wow! Look at us.
Oh my God! We just connected
go.
the dots. Wow.
So
see, this is why y'all listen to this podcast.
That's right. That's right. Because we do the digging and we find gold.
Yep. We just blew this sucker wide open.
All right. So now, just like Cosmic Rewind, let's go back in time. Let's travel back to the beginning. We're going to go through a jump gate here and go back to the start. When this ride opened in 1982, the construction cost, the total tally was $46 million. That number blows my mind, to be honest. That's a huge number.
How much?
$46 million. In
1980.
Now, this is coming, and this is coming from Wikipedia, and so we can say we don't know for sure, but this is the number that we have. And I don't think that that's adjusted for inflation either. So $46 million cost, I mean, in today's dollars, I bet would be like $100 million or more. So
I'm doing a Google search of that right now.
Okay. And that is a big budget for an attraction. But you got to keep in mind when Epcot opened, like this was one of the, what would you call it? Like a keystone sort of a pavilion in the park. So it's sort of like edutate the whole thesis of Epcot was embodied in like the land pavilion, the energy pavilion, all this kind of stuff. So I guess that sort of makes sense. The designer, of course, was WED Enterprises. The music, you got a number yet, Landon? Still working?
I have a number. I have a number.
What's your number?
You really don't want it, but $150 million.
Yeah, I believe it.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. It is
That's
just shy of 150 million.
That's wild.
Yeah, can you imagine Disney today putting that much money into an attraction like this?
Absolutely not. An attraction that runs once an hour. Once
45
an
minute
hour.
ride. Yeah, that's
I mean,
crazy.
yeah, it'll eat what? Okay, they got 6 vehicles that hold 80 people.
Yeah,
Jay, you're the math person. Do the math.
480. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Math Monkey. So you're getting in under 500 people every hour, and the bean counters are going to be like, you want to spend how much? And the original iteration had no IP tied to it.
Right.
There is no way that would fly today.
No,
And that's sad.
it is
I mean, I
sad.
mean, I mean, still, it's like 150 million is 150 million. I get that. That's like holy guacamole. But at the same time, it's like you talked about it. Like this is like original Epcot was all about the edutainment, and this, the original was even Ellen iteration was all about edutainment.
Yeah.
But there is no way in 2025 the hellscape that it is, Disney would come off the hip 150 mil to do this attraction.
No.
Hear me out. Okay, maybe this is a hot take, but like picture this, right? I know this is the history, but imagine Disney does a new iteration of Future World,
Okay.
right? And brings back, this is hypothetical, obviously. We already have the Guardians of the Galaxy version of this ride, right? But like what other edutainment would you like, what else would fit? Like, would you bring back like a interventions kind of vibe, or would we try to do something on this vein with like, because then you have to do like IPs or something that'll stand the test of time. I feel like they like do this the test of time, and I don't think like this cast would work today.
No. What do you got, Lena?
So
Welcoming our robot overlord, sponsored by Chat GPT.
Probably.
I hate
Most
it.
likely.
I hate it here.
No,
When I'm telling lies.
I think that you're right, but I think that Disney would, if they could, it would go the direction of like a maybe even like a Wakanda technology
Ooh, that would be
expo.
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Or I mean, like again, there was what was the concept art again. Don't get me started on concept art that really leaned into, or what was it, the play pavilion that looked like it was leaning into the look of Ralph Rex the Internet, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
mean, that could have been cool. That feels
Mhm.
like it could have been something. But I mean, like, yeah, like go full Wakanda, because Wakanda is a fictional nation that is
That could be our
light years
new.
advanced in technology.
Mhm.
I
Maybe they
think
should do that for Tomorrowland in Magic Kingdom. Just turn that into Wakanda instead.
Yeah, especially after Carmen Sandiego stole the daggone Astro Orbiter.
It's gone.
It's
vanished.
gone. Yeah, that's another
That's-
thing I didn't get to talk about.
Maybe they brought in David Copperfield to make it disappear or something. I don't know.
Blah, it's gone.
I think
no camera tricks.
Yeah.
I also think like today we don't get we don't get this amount of like riders per vehicle.
Oh,
Like
no.
I guess you like
No.
turn them out
Mm-mm.
like fast in terms of the car,
Yeah.
but like loading that many people to from the jump, like that's insane.
Yeah. Well, it's like, loading any show that you would go to. Like, I mean, I don't know what the capacity is for like Frozen Forever After the sing along, but like I imagine that holds 500 or more people. And so, just trying to herd cats into the rows and get people seated and locked in, because by the way, you're going to close the doors, they can't get up. You need to tell people this is 45 minutes. I hope you went to the bathroom before.
Yeah.
You're not going
Mhm.
anywhere.
The amount of that people and the runtime. What do you think Carousel of Progress holds? Because that has to be the closest simile we have to what this attraction was that's still currently active, right?
240 people per show for Carousel of Progress, and then it's a
Oh.
21-minute show. And then
240.
Frozen
That's
Ever
really a lot.
After is 1,000 riders per hour. Oh
Riders.
wait, hold on, wait, that's Frozen Ever After the ride, not the show. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Please hold.
Yeah, I think it's almost the same name, I think, for the single. It's like
Uh,
Frozen Forever After the sing-along.
yeah. But okay, so going back to Carousel of Progress, that's what would you say, 240 for a 20-minute ride?
Yep.
Mhm.
And so they could in theory run that, uh, let's call
1,000
it
seats.
twice an hour. That's again just under 500 people per hour. So
Yeah.
they're looking at pretty much the same number of people that Universe of Energy could run, but they're able to crank out twice the shows.
That's true. And at least with Carousel of Progress, you're constantly loading a theater too.
Yes, that is very true. So once you load one up, in comes the empty seats. Load them up,
Yeah.
re-rack it, so to speak.
Yeah. I wonder if that means that each one holds like 60 people, or does that mean, or are we saying each one of the sections
Oh
holds
yeah,
240? Because I don't think so. 240 is a big number. I would imagine each theater holds
yeah,
60.
and now that you, well, now that I'm thinking about it, it feels like I don't know if the theater holds 260, but the same or 240. I don't know if the theater is small enough to just quote unquote hold 60.
It says 240 per show.
Per show. There's no way. I'm counting.
show-
I'm
the
going and I'm counting.
The show has 6 theaters, each with a capacity of 226 people.
What?
The show can accommodate up to 3,600 people per hour. The show
What?
is 21 minutes long. We just broke Justin.
That's crazy.
Did you say 3,600 an hour?
Yeah.
Wow. We were way off.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I guess they can re-rack every theater. And if every theater holds 240
Math.
people,
Yeah.
Very mathy.
And it's 20. Yeah.
oh my
Wow.
God.
Okay. I don't know if we can continue this episode. We've all just had
All right. Good night, folks.
a brain blast. That's crazy. But okay, so it has way more capacity.
Okay. Also, a 45-minute ride would no longer stand in the parks.
No,
ever.
absolutely.
No.
Yes.
No.
Back to Universe of Energy. There is no way
Eh.
an attraction would run this long. A show, maybe, but the show would be at the end of the night.
Yeah, maybe. But right now, I would say those shows are in like the neighborhood of 25 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't think anyone with the I think this isn't an insult to society, but I think we're in such a attention
ADHD,
span.
yeah.
I was gonna say ADHD, but I just wanted to say attention.
You're gonna pull
span.
out your phone and start doom scrolling on your social
Yeah,
media app of choice.
Yeah, I think that's where we are at, which fortunately is just the nature of the game.
It's true.
And I just don't think anyone.
I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah, if smartphones were a thing, people would have most definitely pulled out their smartphone at parts of
Oh yeah.
this attraction. It's like, all right, cool. We're transitioning from theater 1 to theater 2. Let's see what's going on Instagram, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what
Yeah.
the score of the game is.
Oh, people
Well,
be watching the game.
That would
while
be
they
me.
ride.
That would
I
be
know.
me. Yeah,
No.
I still most definitely will admit to listening to a Tennessee NCAA basketball game on a vacation while walking.
I didn't really
walking around
realize
Animal
that.
Kingdom.
I didn't really realize Exxon was a sponsor.
Mhm.
Like that is weird. I don't know why that's so weird to me, but like that's weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Exxon, I mean, just the whole idea of like, I guess, oil and gas just is a controversial topic, just in general.
That's
'Cause
true.
You've got people who, have no problem with it. You have other people who feel like we shouldn't be drilling, we shouldn't be burning, fossil fuels. You've got the whole, what's contributing to climate change type conversation. So, in a way, also like I don't think you'd see a sponsor like this in the Disney parks again, just because it would be controversial. I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but if the money's there, I guess. But like, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Maybe I could be totally wrong. But anyways, we had a little sidetrack there, which is fine because I don't mind. We can go wherever the conversation.
Again, there
takes us.
are no rules.
Yeah.
Mass hysteria, cats and dogs living together in the streets.
It closed a lot later than I thought it did.
It did. It lasted a long
Yes.
time.
Yes, it did. I'm glad you brought that up because when we were looking at the notes, it's like, no, that can't be right. That cannot be right.
Yeah,
2017.
2017.
That's the year I graduated college.
2017.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Steffers. As me
You're
and Jay
very
turned to dust
welcome.
like Thanos just
You're
snapped the glove.
so welcome. I'm glad that you had that kind of. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying is that like I was already in college and I thought this closed in like 2008.
Yeah. We had that
Well-
same kind of a realization when we were talking about I think it was the Honey I Shrunk the Kids playground.
Yeah.
Because it stuck around a lot longer than any of us thought it did.
Well, and I mean, that really goes to speak. It's like the reason that the Honey I Shrunk the Kids playground, the reason that Universe of Energy closed. Okay, well, maybe corporate funding may have been a reason for Universe of Energy, and dwindling popularity of the celebrities featured may have been a reason as well. But it's like dwindling popularity of the attractions themselves. It's like you may have loved those attractions, and we like these attractions clearly had their fans, but maybe they just outlived their usefulness. And I know maybe that sounds cruel to say, but I mean, it opened October 1st, 1982 in its first iteration, and it closed in 2017. That is a hell of a run.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for an attraction like this, for sure. Yeah. Just 7 years ago. That's crazy. So, well, 8 almost now. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the people behind the music here. We had Robert Moline, who wrote the Energy, parentheses, You Make the World Go Round, parentheses, song. And then Al Kasha and Joel Hirschhorn, who wrote the Universe of Energy. And then Buddy Baker, wrote the film background scores.
Now that guy right there, Buddy Baker, that is some Disney royalty. Apple Dumpling Gang, right there. The Shaggy DA, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Fox and the Hound, just to name a few. Buddy freaking Baker. I mean, if you're a Disney fan, he has scored part of the songs that play in your head. How cool is that?
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, I mean, they bring in the big dogs when they're doing all these, putting together the talent behind these attractions. And one of the big dogs was Vic Perrin as well, who, by the way, was the host of this attraction and was also the host of Spaceship Earth at the time. So, a voice that you could hear all over the place. And we talked about him when we talked about Spaceship Earth, but he was, people remember him best for providing the control voice in the original series, The Outer Limits. So, yeah, but he had a big radio career. He was ubiquitous.
Radio career? What's that like?
Yeah. He was in an episode of The Adventures of Superman. He was in 16 installments of Dragnet.
I was about to say, I didn't know he was on Adventures with Steffers. What a throwback.
Adventures with Steffers. Yeah, he was, but he hosted all the way up till 96 when then handed the keys over to Ellen. And just quickly, just to kind of go through the beats of the show. So you gather in sort of a pre-show room, and at the time when the show originally started, you were in a room that was surrounded by, it was an 8-minute live action film, and there were these mosaic screens there were 100 rotating prism-shaped screens, and they were arranged in a 25 by 4 array. The screens would flip around and they were synchronized to the projectors. So when they flipped around to the right side, they would have things that were projected on them. And it was really cool to see. It's one of those things they did not retain that for the Ellen version of the show. They changed the pre-show. But it was a nice little, it was very, very cool visual effect. And I sort of remember seeing that because there are elements of this that almost feel to me like dreams or like just really foggy memories before, because I remember so much of like the Ellen era, but I was a nerdy kid. I liked the original version anyway, so I do remember some of this. But then after the pre-show, you would go into a theater. You were seated in one of 6 sections, and then those sections would rotate 180 degrees to face 3 large movie screens for a 4-minute film. And then once that was done, you rotate it again, you face a curtain that lifts up, and by the way, now you're going to the past. Now you're in a dinosaur diorama, and you go through all 6 of the sections sort of like fall in line. It's a 7-minute journey, and you get to see all these dinosaur animatronics. That's why people showed up. That's what put butts in the seats. Go see those Dino animatronics. And then after you were done, you were back in another theater for a 12-minute live action film that was like an in-depth look at the current use and then the future energy resources from around the world. So it was, like I said, it was hardcore edutainment back then, but the dinosaurs were the draw. Then 96 comes in and they're like, we need to do something here. We need to, you know, I would say this was one of those attractions that most of the time you could just walk on, wasn't really putting butts in the all those proverbial seats. So they gave it a little facelift, brought in Ellen, as we mentioned, as the new host, and then it took on a new life. And I appreciate the way that they found a way to keep it on theme, but try to make it a little more fun and interactive because Ellen was at the time, she was at the peak of her powers. And it was a really nice choice because she always had that like relatable delivery and her sort of like breaking the fourth wall and talking to Epcotians. We didn't even know we were Epcotians at the time, but we were. Um, that she did a great job of like making that transition and kind of bringing us into her dream, as it were. So the pre-show became like we talked about as Ellen in her apartment, and we met her former roommate, and then she sits down to watch Jeopardy and falls asleep with watching Jeopardy while Bill Nye hangs out on the couch with her. And then when you go in the pre-show, then you get to go on the adventure and watch Ellen failing terribly at the beginning of her Jeopardy experience, but then she gets all the education that we get by the end of it. She's a Jeopardy expert. She wins. Of course, she even beats Einstein, who I think didn't Einstein have like negative points or something by the end of the show.
Yeah, totally unrealistic. This attraction, Einstein ends up with $0 or -$. They don't even use real dinosaurs. Come on,
Yeah.
Disney, not even trying anymore.
Yep.
Truly, though, truly.
But a really happy ending, of course, as Ellen wins and is now a energy genius. So were there any parts aside from the drive through of the dinosaur diorama? Were there any parts that like really kind of stood out to you when if you think about Ellen's Energy Adventure? Like what pops in your mind, Landon? Do you have anything that comes right to your mind?
If you're saying other than the dinosaurs, no, not really. Like y'all know me. I'm a honk for animatronics, and your boy also loves dinosaurs too. So you marry those together. It's like Landon's there for that. But even those animatronics, there was just some jankiness about them. It's like these are neat. These are fun. I mean, look at that weirdo. I like that guy. Look at him. He's weird looking. I like it. So it's like, to me, it's and by the way, when I say look at that weirdo, I'm referring to Ellen. The animatronics for the dinos is what stands out for me. I mean, and like you said, that was the draw from day one to day close of this attraction. And I do think it's interesting. That was the draw in the original iteration and the second iteration. And that's what you saw first. Then it's like, we're going to go watch a 12-minute movie. Yeah. We showed you what you wanted to see. Now watch this thing. By the way, you can't leave.
Yep.
So yeah. But yeah, it's like I'm all about those dinos. So now if I need to get my dinosaur fix, if only there was a place in Orlando where I could do that. Animal Kingdom. Wait, no. Yeah, well, technically for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, for this year.
And also those dinosaurs look way worse than janky.
I would say it would be like a real contest between like near the end of the universe of energy and where dinosaur is now. How many of those dinosaurs are still in working order? I don't know.
Ooh. That would be a fun question to ask. We'll never get the answer to it, but fun question to ask.
Steffers, what about you? I mean, you're a Bill Nye lover.
I literally was gonna say the Jeopardy scene. Literally, like when Bill Nye comes in, we get into Jeopardy. That is more prominent in my mind than the dinosaurs. I said dinosaur. I mean, dinosaurs who, in terms of like, I thought it was dinosaur, but like that was so like closely related to my brain.
Yeah,
that
Steffers
I,
thought she was on Jurassic Park River.
No,
Yeah.
no. Let's not go that far. However,
When the T-Rex comes breaking through the water. No.
But yeah, no, the Jeopardy thing for me is definitely what sticks out the most when I think back on that ride. It's very much, but I've always been like a Bill Nye stan, and I've always loved Jeopardy, so like it's always been that for me.
That's cool. That's cool. No dinosaurs, but that's cool. Oh, they should have had Jeopardy with dinosaurs. They were right there.
They should take the pre-show from Ellen's Energy Adventure and just switch it out with the dinosaur ride now. And like people would be so confused.
That would be so funny, but I would ride that ride. Like
Yeah.
I would 100% do it.
Well, you felt
yes
like you
to
already
both,
had
yeah.
Steffers.
Listen.
Oh, it would be full circle. It would be
Exactly.
full circle for
It would be
Steffers.
full circle, exactly.
I was gonna say it's funny, like all those things that you guys mentioned definitely stand out to me. There's quotes that you could have pulled from this ride once Ellen took over. Like one of the things that always
Like where she said, "Let's go get that dino."
Yeah, that one.
Wait, no, not.
No, but like she's talking about her roommate. She goes, "Stupid Judy, stupid energy."
Yeah, right. She's snugging up with her cat, falling asleep.
Yeah.
Though nowadays, when I think of Stupid Judy, I think of Judy Gemstone. By the way, Righteous Gemstones final season coming back in March. Hey, HBO Max, not a plug, but it can be.
If only. And then like when you're still in the pre-show area, I remember like Ellen sort of giving you a heads up about what's going on. And at the end of that, she says something to the effect of like, if you're just getting here, where have you been? Like,
yeah.
Like,
oh, and then whenever the ride would like pause, if you were like in between a scene or whatever, like there was some system, whatever, she would just like sit in a chair and just kind of hum to herself sometimes. Or she'd, say some like off the cuff, like it's very subtle. And like, if you remember, you remember, but like she'd just be like filler.
That.
Yeah, it was funny.
Okay. All right. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. All right.
yeah. We're just seeing Ellen just watching in real time. She's just hanging out.
But like it was on the monitor.
Yeah.
It was on the
Yeah.
huge screens.
Yeah. I remember that
What a
actually.
time. What a time. Yeah.
Well, funny enough, on the last ride that Ellen's Energy Adventure ever
I'm so glad we're talking about this.
ever took, the ride vehicles broke down, and these were all battery operated. Yes, Landon.
This is one of my favorite Disney conspiracy theories. This was totally planned, right?
Oh, maybe. It could have been.
Like this was absolutely planned. This had to be. Oh, it's the last ride where it was the one day where it's like in the last year that it actually ran, that people showed up to ride Universe of Energy or Ellen's Energy Adventure or whatever. And they had a full house. And on the last ride of this attraction ever. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
The seats died. Yeah. Well, we're going to have to emergency evac you guys. But, if you want to take pictures or something and walk around and look at it, this was totally planned. This is a Disney conspiracy theory, I believe, 100%.
I've never heard that conspiracy theory till just now.
I like it, and I think that you probably are absolutely right that this was true because, it's all the diehards that always want to be on the very last ride of any attraction.
Yes, these were the hardcores. This was their ride. And
for those of us who are nerdy enough to love this Disney behind the scenes stuff as much as we do, there's nothing better than being broken down and walked off a ride. It's amazing. So imagine you're riding this ride. It's the last time you're on the last ride ever. Oh no, we broke down, and now you get to hang out in the dinosaur area and walk around and take pictures for a while, which wasn't they said wasn't planned. But
and I've been quote unquote fortunate enough to be walked off rides. Y'all, I'm sure have, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is never the case. I explicitly the time that I got walked off Rise of the Resistance. Do not take your phone out. Do not take pictures. You will fall in a single file line, and we are going this way. Do not stop.
Yep, absolutely.
On this instance, on what is it? August 13th, 2017. the last day that the universe of energy was up and running. It just happens to go down, and cast members are like, well, if you want to hang out and, live stream it or whatever, and take pictures and, just do whatever.
Fun fact about Steffers is she's never been walked off of a ride.
What? Never? Not even at Universal? Wow. That's a surprise, Steffers. You either have really good luck, or if you look at it from our side, really bad luck.
Well, rides break down, but like they get it, like it's just delayed.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a let's evac. I've never been evac'd off of a ride.
Well, if it makes you feel better, in my instance on where I got evac'd off Rise, it was in a situation where it's like, oh, we could die here. It was like we were hanging very precariously in an elevator shaft. So
a precarious situation. You have
my anxiety was very high during that instance, but we're not here to talk about that. But yes, I 100. This is a Disney conspiracy theory that I 100% believe in. The Cinderella Castle is not made of Legos, and they don't deconstruct it ahead of hurricanes. Walt's head is not frozen somewhere on property, but I believe in my core that this 100% was planned on the last ride of Ellen's Energy Adventure, that the ride vehicles were going to quote unquote die, and the hardcores were going to be walked off so they could enjoy it one last time in a way that nobody else was able to beforehand.
It's like a media event before
Kind
media
of.
events were
It
really
really
a
was.
thing.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an impromptu media event for the fans.
And suddenly they roll out like trays of meatballs and different things. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we just happen
Some
to have some
gift
snacks
bags.
in the back.
Here's the
Here's a
merch.
GoPro if you didn't bring a camera. Yeah.
That's
Sponsored by Exxon. No.
that is like a dream come true, though. Honestly, for those people, that's a
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
wow, good for them.
Oh, 1000%. Yeah.
Okay, so while we're talking about conspiracy theories, let's throw out some fun facts about the attraction. This is something we like to do when we can find them about the attractions we talk about. So, according to The Hidden Magic of Walt Disney World by Susan Vaness, the roof of the attraction was covered with 80,000 photovoltaic cells, solar cells that partially powered the AC for the ride. I can't read. Converted some of the solar energy into AC, which is alternating current, to help power the ride. And I just thought like 80,000 cells sounds like a lot. I thought that would just power the ride. Apparently, it only partially powered it.
Well, photovoltaic or voltaic cells. I mean, come on, man. We all know you're only going to get a little bit. Actually, I don't even know. I don't even know how to pronounce it. So,
Nowadays, maybe those are more effective.
How do you spell that?
I don't know. In
Can you
this
use it in a
economy, are they
sentence?
that more effective? No. It's photo and then voltaic. So photo, VOL, go Vols, TAIC.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Photovoltaic. Next fun fact. Ellen's audio-animatronic was actually pretty expensive to make. It cost around $2 million for Disney to build the audio-animatronic Ellen, and apparently it wasn't even very realistic.
Money well spent.
We talked about Exxon sponsoring. Their sponsorship ended in 2004. So at least it lasted another 13 years after, because you see, it has happened in the past. Rides lose their sponsor and then they just don't go on. So
That's very true. Yeah. So, I mean, like you did say it, it can be somewhat controversial, the use of oil and drilling and stuff like that, even though, let's be honest, the majority of us still go to the pump on a regular basis for our cars. Good on Exxon for continuing to sponsor the universe of energy into Ellen's Energy Adventure.
yeah. Here's what you said, Landon. The ride vehicles used on Ellen's Energy Adventure had the highest capacity of any vehicle used in a Disney World ride.
Okay, there we go. All
So
right.
you name that.
Play.
The lava erupted by the volcano in the Dino diorama was actually a goo pretty similar to hair gel, which is interesting. And then the lighting gave it its lava color. And then when the ride first opened, when it changed over to Ellen's Energy Adventure, it was actually known as Ellen's Energy Crisis. But it was changed pretty quickly. Because that, I will say, that doesn't make sense. Like,
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, she was not having an energy crisis.
I mean,
And
like
I'm
maybe
having a crisis.
well, sorry to hear that, Steph. I really am. But maybe you want to call it Ellen's energy nightmare because she refers to it as like, oh, her dream's a nightmare or something. But it's like crisis is like, oh,
Yeah.
this is this is gonna stress me out, is it? There's
well,
nothing about this ride that's gonna stress you out.
both of those names would give me the impression it's going to be some kind of a thrill ride.
Right? Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Maybe that's why Steffers thought it was Dinosaur
yeah.
because a big giant Jerkosaurus is chasing you the entire
Listen,
time.
I can't confirm nor deny, but I will say it's possible.
We
Um,
can confirm at one point Ellen's energy crisis was Dinosaur.
You heard
Yep.
it here first.
And Jay
September-
said it, so it must be true.
I mean, everything I say is true.
Yep. Hmm.
And those are all the fun facts that I had for today. But
Those were fun. Good
those
job.
were fun. Now, as we know, that ride, just like the dinosaurs, has gone extinct. But where it stands is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And they did reuse sort of the facade of that building to make it look similar to what the Universe of Energy looked like on the outside. And as we've sort of discussed here, I feel like there is a connection between the energy theme of that pavilion and then what goes on in the ride. So we'll do Guardians of the Galaxy a whole nother day because I feel like that needs its own M34D.
True.
Yep.
But yeah, I just I do feel like it's sad. Like Landon said, these things are never going to last forever. They serve their purpose, and then eventually, society culture moves on, and we need to and plus probably the maintenance eventually gets too much, and it's hard to keep it going without investing a whole lot of money into it. So why not just build another ride? By the way, I don't know if this is true, but I quickly just Googled the cost of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind construction. Do you have any guesses? Because this shocked me. This was
Oh,
Cheaper
it
than-
shocked you.
This was
cheaper than
shocking.
Ellen.
A lot more expensive.
250.
Steffers, higher or lower? Over under.
Don't prices right me, Steph.
Wait, Universe of Energy was 46, and
in-
Landon's saying 250.
But in
Are-
today's dollars, 150 was Universe of Energy.
Higher.
I'm basing it off today's dollars.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So 150 higher
Yeah.
than Landon.
According to just a very
Oh, I'm
cursory-
way low. I am
a
way
very
low.
cursory Google, $500 million. Do we think
Expensive.
that's true? That's insane.
With the
I mean, it's
technology,
on
yes.
the internet. It has to be true.
True. Also that.
But I mean, $500 million. Think of how many people they can crank in and out within the hour.
Yeah. And I mean, they nailed it. That ride's amazing.
Yes,
I think-
I wish it was available for standby, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I will still get my happy ass up 5 minutes till 7 and try and get that boarding group every day that I'm in Epcot, except for April 1st for a reason that we'll get to in a second.
1,700 people per hour.
Cosmic
So
Rewind.
yeah,
Yes,
a
which
way
is-
higher turnover than what they were doing with Universe of Energy / Ellen's Energy Adventure.
Expedition Everest can do 2,050 people per hour, and Space
Wow.
Mountain can do 1,800 people per hour.
Man. That's
Hmm.
interesting. We'll do it someday. Maybe we do a deep dive on ride capacity.
Mhm.
Literally
talk
just
about
took the thought out of my brain. See, this is why
True.
we work so well together, us three bad
Yeah.
boys.
because I think that's an interesting thing to dig into, and especially putting in context of like ride uptime, how long the lines get, where
How long the
crowds-
ride is
how
itself?
long the ride itself,
Yes,
like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Tron, we're looking at you.
Yeah, we're
Mm.
nerds,
What?
guys.
Hmm?
We don't apologize.
Yeah, at this point, we are way too deep into the run of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast to apologize for being nerds. I think you've already picked up on that.
Correct.
That's right. So you know us pretty well, but there's other things going on, and we're going to talk about them if you're interested in exploring other aspects of our life. So, Steffers, first of all, let's talk about your Twitch and talk about what's going on in the gaming world of Steffers.
Oh, yes. I am Adventures with Steffers on Twitch and Adventures with Steffers on YouTube. You can see what's today. You can see up to part 8 on YouTube of my Final Fantasy VII Remake playthrough. And I'm doing the DLC on Wednesday. live on Twitch, so go check that out. I game a lot, and I have a Discord server for my gaming stuff if you want to join that. If not, that's okay too.
And that's it.
Yeah,
Go do
Adventures with Steppers and all the things.
Adventures with Steffers everywhere. If you plug that into some social media app, you're going to find Steffers, unless she's on Blue Sky.
Then it's at Steppers, whatever. It's Steppers, respectfully.
Go to Friendster and search Avengers with Steffers. You'll find her there.
Is Friendster even like a valid URL anymore?
I'm sure it is. It's probably been bought by a porn bot that links back to the bad place. So
I'm going to try to buy it right now. See what happens. Landon,
I really hope it's owned by Tom from MySpace. That would be perfect.
Well, while I go back and try to see if I can purchase this decrepit website, Landon, what's going on with you? Let's talk about living with the Landon.
Whoop,
Yeah.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
I made reference to it a couple minutes ago, April 1st, 2025, which, by the way, oh my God, that's this year, guys. I will be heading down to the House of the Mouse in Orlando, Florida, and heading to Epcot, where I, Landon Doan, will be rope dropping from grand opening to grand closing, marathon riding, living with the land. Now, you might be asking, Landon, why are you going to be doing something like that? Well, first of all, the reason I'm going down is because I'm turning 40 years old on April 1st. And to mark the occasion, I'm going to try and use this day, this what do you call it? A trademark, or not a trademark, a landmark birthday. Actually,
milestone.
Get the lawyers to look in. Can it be a trademark birthday?
Well, we could try.
It's a milestone birthday though. It's okay.
We'll talk about this off air. I'm going to use this instance to try and raise money for a organization that is very close to my heart here in East Tennessee, Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. And I'm asking you, the lovely listener, to donate and pledge money for every ride that I am going to take on April 1st on Living with the Land. We're calling it Living with the Land. And so if I take 10 rides on Living with the Land that day and you pledge $4, you would then have to, well, not have to, we would ask you then to donate $40 to Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee in the name of Living with the Landon, and all money raised with Living with the Landon is earmarked for the Food for Kids program, helping feed hungry kids in East Tennessee. Did you know $100 alone can help feed a kid in East Tennessee for 1 year? And Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee serves 18 counties in East Tennessee, helping not only these kids, helping their parents, their grandparents who sometimes have to raise them because unfortunately the parent might be out of the picture. What Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee can do is amazing. If you can't donate $100, if you can donate $1, Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee can turn that $1 and take 95 cents of that dollar and put it towards food to help people in East Tennessee not be hungry. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Y'all are the best fans in the podcasting game. And I want y'all to, I guess, put your money where my mouth is on April 1st as we raise money for Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee for Living with the Landon. Head to livingwiththelandon.com for more information. We got pledge forms where you can donate per ride. If you just want to do a blanket donation, there's that option as well. If you want to get some merchandise, we got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got coffee mugs. So anything past cost of making that merchandise, that money will also go to Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. So you can get some dope merch for this awesome event and still help feed people right here in East Tennessee. And Steffers, can I tell them? Yes. I'm excited to announce that not only will myself be in Orlando, Florida on April 1st, not only will Papa Monorail be joining me in Orlando, Florida on April 1st, somebody else locked in their airline ticket and will be joining us in Orlando, Florida on April 1st. That's right. The Monday Morning Monorail crew, all three of us, Landon the Dosdone, Papa Monorail, Justin Monorail, and Steffers will all be riding Living with the Land on Living with the Landon Day, April 1st, 2025. So come out, celebrate Living with the Landon, and raise some money for Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. I am so damn excited that this is happening. We're raising money for an organization that I love with all my heart. And speaking of all my heart, again, thank you for all the thoughts, for all the prayers. They are still felt. I'm still doing my best. And I'm going to get through this, guys, because the Monorail fam rides together. So breathe. Have a little bit of fun. And if you could do both of those things, that would mean the world to me. I'll talk to y'all next. Actually, no, I will not talk to y'all next week because I'm going to be coming back from Chicago. So yeah, I will talk to y'all in 2 weeks. How about that? I love y'all. Mean it. Take care. Bye-bye.
Enjoy your trip to Chicagoland, and we will hold down the fort on your behalf.
Perfect. I love how I'm going on vacation to a place that's going to be freezing.
Yeah.
As of the forecast right now, there's only one day where it's predicted to be snowing.
I mean, hopefully you get more. Fingers crossed.
I am going to see Taylor Tomlinson, the funny comedian.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, that was the reason me and Smoking Hot Girlfriend booked tickets to head up to Chicago because we're both fans of her and we loved going to Chicago in the summer, you know, when it wasn't freezing. Yeah. And so we're gonna go see Taylor, and then we're gonna go back to the Art Institute in Chicago as well, and we're gonna go see a Bulls game.
Nice.
We're not Bulls fans, but you know, it's fun to go to sport events.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So.
I was actually thinking maybe this week I might go see my first Magic game in person because the Hornets are coming to town. That means tickets. Number one, tickets are super cheap because nobody cares. Number two, Dalton Connect might be playing. So yeah, that's Wednesday. So I'm thinking I might go over this Wednesday and see the Magic and Hornets.
You should.
Yeah.
That would be fun, man.
I can get in for like $30. So you know, why not?
Absolutely, yeah.
So looking forward to that. Come check me out. I'll be making an appearance at the Magic Hornets game this Wednesday.
Do you think they're going to put that on the marquee?
I'm going to pay to get up on the Jumbotron and be like, just by the way, Justin's here celebrating nothing.
Justin Monorail featuring the Orlando Magic and Charlotte Hornets.
I wanted to say this. So we had previously talked about putting together like a live recording. I don't think we're going to have time or facilities to do that while Landon's here. But what we are going to do is we're going to try to do like a little happy hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize a group in the Facebook. If you plan on being in town or attending Living with the Landon, make sure to join that group, the Monday Morning Monorail Fam. I'll set an event for it and we'll plan something. I was thinking we could do Disney Springs and maybe go to like City Work or somewhere where we could just all hang out and get drinks, where it won't be super crazy crowded. So we'll work that out. We think maybe Sunday or Monday. We'll just have to see what people are doing. But then, of course, Tuesday is the big event, April 1st. So just mark your calendars and please let me know if you do plan on hanging out, and we'll make something happen. I'd like to just say thank you to all of you. So
yeah, put me down is a hard maybe.
Okay. Lana might be there. Stephers has to be because I'm driving her around. So she has no choice in the matter.
You hear that, Steffers?
Yep.
I'm okay
But we should still do something for the two. I don't know if we'll do, previously on a milestone episode, we did like a live episode. We could do something like that again for 250. But we'll figure it out. We've got a little bit of time, but we're getting close. This one doesn't count. So it moves our week back by one.
Yeah. M34Ds don't count towards the episode count.
Yeah.
True.
So
because even though we previously said there are no rules in 2025, there are rules when it comes to the Monday Morning Monorail podcast episode count, apparently.
There always will be. That's the only rule that matters anymore.
Unfortunately, I think you're right. Yeah.
So, and then by the way, speaking of what's going on this week, this is the week, the most romantic week with the most romantic day of the year on the calendar. Last week we gave you some recommendations for some nice date nights around the Walt Disney World Resort, but I did want to point you back to episode number 43 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. It's episode 43, the most romantic Walt Disney World day ever. That's the name of the show. And it featured Landon the Dawsdone. It featured Kevin from the Mouse Knows Best podcast. And it featured May and myself. And we give you our recommendations for how to have a really romantic day. We talk about resorts, rides, transportation. We talk about all sorts of things. So
I'm staying out of that one. But
it was a good episode.
Probably for the best Steffers.
It got very silly. I I recommend you check that out. Specifically on Valentine's Day, which is what, Friday?
Yeah,
Perfect.
Friday. Yeah,
Perfect.
it's this Friday, and fellas, if that is news to you that Valentine's is this Friday, you have a couple days to plan and do something. So let this be a heads up. But referring to episode 43, a lot of people asked after hearing that, can you feel the love tonight? And the answer was a resounding no. So, yeah.
Another one I'll recommend from our past as we approach Oscar season is we did a Mousker Award show that we actually sang on, and it was really something. So
that was our first lawsuit. That was fun. Yeah.
I'll recommend that one when we get to the Oscars. But
I wrote bits and everything.
Yeah, we wrote a script. We had
yeah.
There were sound effects involved. Like that was a very involved episode. But
yeah, we used to try.
We did.
Those were the days.
We did. Oh, those were good times. But we'll wrap up now. I am Justin Monorail on all the things. Justin Monorail with no space on Blue Sky. Justin_Monorail if you want to find me other places. It's Morning Monorail if you want to find the podcast on Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. Morning Monorail, one word. Subscribe to our YouTube Monday Morning Monorail channel, and you will be able to see our lovely faces now doing these podcasts. And otherwise, the Facebook group, as I mentioned, the Monday Morning Monorail fam. You can find us a lot of places, and we love interacting with you in all those places. So it's the season of love. Let's keep the love going. We love you guys. As I said last week, if you don't have a Valentine, we'll be your Valentine. The Monday Morning Monorail podcast hearts you, and we're here for you. So let's wrap today up. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a very fun M34D, and we'll bring you more in the future because we got a lot more to get to in Epcot. We haven't even gone to Hollywood Studios yet, so looking forward to that. You all are the best, but until we talk to you next week, thank a team member, thank a cast member, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey, Steffers, you say it this time. I like the way you did it last week.
Okay, bye-bye.